Even though he's probably guilty, he probably did it, but they didn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the foundation of not just the criminal justice system, but of a civilization that works without having chaos and injustices, right? If you can't trust that the government is being held to this burden, then what's going to happen to you if you're falsely accused of your core brother?
Especially when the government has pretty much unlimited resources. And even our clients, it's very, very hard to keep these cases going and to get all these experts and all of these witnesses. And I mean, the state can pay for that. And that's kind of something that we've talked about is that, at the end of the day, if the DA gets a not guilty verdict, they're like, oh, shucks. And they can go and, have a steak dinner with their wife or husband or whoever. If one of our clients is innocent and they're convicted, they go to prison, potentially for a long, long time, and their life is totally ruined.
Yeah, even like a righteous victim, they get their day in court and there's an acquittal. I mean, it stings, but it's psychological. Like a falsely accused individual getting convicted, I mean, it's their consequences.
And also, I mean, if somebody's an accuser and if they, have their day in court and if the person is found not guilty, that doesn't necessarily mean that the jury didn't believe them. It might just mean that they couldn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, the way I talk to juries about it, I say, like, sitting here right now, you think our client is guilty, innocent, or I don't know. And, I think he's, guilty or I'm unsure. I was like, look, ladies and gentlemen, be honest. Like, he's sitting here where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, nobody just gets arrested or charged with a case for, like, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe, but what are you doing in the wrong place? Usually people are guilty of something. They're never perfectly innocent. Like, they did something mean to cause somebody to do a false accusation. Maybe they were driving too fast under the circumstances, but not in a criminal way. Maybe they're just being negligent and not reckless.
Maybe they were a bad parent, but not an abusive parent.
Yeah, maybe
they were bad, or they were disloyal to their partner. They weren't, violent towards their partner, but they were disloyal. They did some, as you said.
Or maybe they were violent against their partner, but not as violent as they were falsely accused of being.
Or violent against their partner, but not violent against their children.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's only like one case of like an innocent man ever that's flawless in every way. So none of our clients are going to be coming to trial like lily white. If they were, those cases don't make it through the process. Like false accusations against people that can easily disprove themselves because they live this perfect life, that maybe the cops don't believe them. Like, I don't see those. Doesn't say they don't happen. They just maybe get filtered a little better. But, if you're acting in a way that causes someone to make a false accusation, you've probably got some like self-improvement work to do. That's all I'm saying. But jurors, they have to do this like mental shift because I'm going to ask them, so have you ever heard of a concept of like something unless maybe something else? Oh, yeah. What is that? Innocent unless proven guilty. No, they always say innocent until proven guilty. And the jury instruction is actually innocent unless and until proven guilty. So does anybody see the difference in that? And they'll be like, oh yeah, because innocent until proven guilty sounds like
they're going to be proven guilty.
It's a foregone conclusion.
Like, yeah, at some point you're like, okay, that was the line, they're proven guilty.
Yeah, well, innocence is a conditioned precedent to being proved guilty. Innocent, and
And it's interesting to me because that's something that I thought about just working on some of these cases. That's so important. And the way that you state that is so important, unless and until proven guilty. And the way that you state, my client right now legally is not guilty. Halfway through the trial, he's not guilty. The only time, the jury has to assume that he or she is not guilty. I find that so important because otherwise, you have a client who's sitting there, they're accused of something. The facts could show that they're not guilty, that they're truthfully not guilty, but confirmation bias is a heck of a drug, heck of a force. I actually asked my mom about, remember how you asked me when my mom was on the grand jury, and she actually told me, I know that you'd like this, that she was saying, wait, basically like, hey, pump the brakes.